Alright guys, so in the last episode we saw Lloyd was back again, after the serious fight with the demon lord in previous season. A fort town was destroyed as demons tried to make blighted people their target, but since Lloyd took care of that, all that was left was to rebuild that fort town, and Lloyd assigned Galilee as the governor. He wanted to make this place secure enough to defend against any demon attacks, and as a demon himself, Grimm suggested to try learning holy magic from the church. Normally it's learned through strong devotion and being blessed by the heavenly being, so Lloyd tried his best to leave that boring life, where they clean, sing, help and pray in church. But it was just unbearable, so he decided to cut short on the long way, and directly went to the heavens to snatch the blessings from an angel who was keeping an eye on the church. But this numbskull was just a pervert, drooling over Escher and Saria, who were singing recite. This just shows that he deserved what Lloyd and Grimm threw at him. He got surprised seeing a living human in heaven, but still. Jiriel showed his angelic side as he's one of the envoys of the gods, so he's superior and all. But it went over Lloyd's head, so he directly told Jiriel to teach him holy magic. And again that self-centered snot thought he was a big shot and started to irritate them with his own self-praise. That's why Grimm threatened the guy they'd expose his perverted side to the world. So Jiriel said he only grants holy magic to those he sees worthy for it. But like Lloyd would take no for an answer, that's why Jiriel attacked with a few swords made from holy magic. But that's not enough to take that little monster down. At the same time on land, Ran was breaking into sweats because Lloyd vanished after he sensed someone's gaze. Babylon sensed it too, so he goes out of the hall for a while, and right at the same time Lloyd was engaged in the battle with an angel now. He was enjoying being hit by divine magic because he couldn't absorb it. Lloyd realized that holy magic is actually a physical object being conjured by divine magic. But even that needs mana, so Lloyd summoned his own counter that completely overwhelmed Jiriel's swords and even broke the reality that showed the power difference, yet self-centered moron like Jiriel never want to accept that. So while Jiriel kept blabbering his nonsense, Lloyd decided to use Shadow Strike so that Jiriel wouldn't be able to dodge this one at least, but still he did. And Grimm got worried because it's the spell of Gisarm, a type of offensive teleportation that could end the fight in an instant. That's why Grimm got worried that Lloyd might end up killing an archangel at this rate. But Lloyd thought Jiriel is invincible since he was boasting so much. But still Lloyd knows and promised to never use Jade's power like this, so Grimm tried to convince Jiriel to give up or this little dude will kill him. But as expected, Jiriel was confident in his skills to dodge everything. That's why Lloyd calculated everything, from the time to summon his spell and Jiriel's speed in dodging. But while doing so, Jiriel thought Lloyd was wide open so he could strike. And that's when Lloyd pulled the Uno reverse card to cook a perfectly tasty winged angel. And yet that wasn't enough for his thick brain to understand he was screwed. Jiriel thinks he could summon swords endlessly, so he's invincible. And obviously he was again boasting, but Lloyd took him seriously. That's why a friendly advice: never lie so openly or you will get screwed just like Jiriel here. Dude was about to die for real this time, his transparent body said so. And since he's a being comprised of mana, Lloyd saved his life by pouring his mana into him. That was rather weird because Jiriel tried to kill him, but Lloyd never cares. He just wants to learn divine magic and that's it. He ended up giving a little extra though, and because Grimm was the same mana being, Lloyd gave him a little taste too. Now, Jiriel decided to bless the divine magic to Lloyd. But it was only a pretense to take over Lloyd's body to descend on Earth and meet all his favorite ladies to fool around. That look was so obvious what he was up to, and just as he tried to take over Lloyd, what happened to Grimm happens to Jiriel. And seeing that, Grimm couldn't stop his laugh. Now putting that aside, an angel must engrave a mark on a human for them to use holy magic. But Lloyd got a whole angel in his body, so he's already good to go. With the instructions Jiriel said, Lloyd did it exactly and felt he's now able to do holy magic. It felt incredible, but Grimm is aware of the reality. Now that Lloyd even got holy magic, he's strong enough to conquer both heaven and hell if he wants. That means Lloyd could even kill the Demon King. But then again, Lloyd was disappointed because it was so easy to grasp this power. For instance, Lloyd loves to learn magic step by step. He enjoys even little advancement to figure out and learn new sorts of magic, so he never minds working hard. But now that he got it, Lloyd wanted to try out holy magic, and Jiriel said to first only try summoning a sword. Even idiots such as Jiriel could sense the honesty of this little maniac, which reminds him that there was one person who had earned his respect like Lloyd. But while he's lost in his own thoughts, Lloyd was making his holy magic run wild. Don't know which kind of cocktail he was imagining, but it was destroying the heavens itself. If nothing is done, Lloyd will end up really destroying it, and interesting, Lloyd wants to see that, and Jiriel was lost. He was completely dumbfounded and Grimm told him to snap back and do something about this world domination looking mess. Well, that's a handful mess. But Babylon was roaming around the church when he entered in a rose field that had a stench of death. Right there a man stopped him because it's a secluded area of the church, but Babylon felt this man is dangerous, so he tried to play it cool like nothing is wrong. That man said he's a pastor here, but Babylon noticed he doesn't have a rosary. Babylon just joined today, yet he got one, so the man apologized because he had it in his pocket, but then Ren came in, and Shiro sensed danger from that man too, but thankfully Lloyd came in right on time, and he walks past that guy coldly. Shiro was delighted because they won't die now and returns back. Recite was already over and Lloyd pretended that he listened to it till the end. Jiriel wasn't able to hold back from meeting his idol, but besides him, Babylon was worried about that man they encountered. But Lloyd said they'll be leaving the church, so Babylon doesn't care what's going on in the church, but that man is certainly evil and has hidden something very awful in that rose garden. And right there episode 2 ends, but stay tuned to find out what more mysteries unravels in the Lord of Mysteries. Until then, take care.